Hello, so I'm Kathryn, and this is my first video. Yay! So a little bit about myself. I'm 22. I just finished my degree in technical management with a concentration in business administration from DeVry University Online. It's a very big accomplishment. I just want to point out that Ben was a huge help through all of it. That's the reason I married him. He's awesome. So this is to talk a little bit about being a newlywed and some of the good things and some of the bad things. So one of the most recent issues that Ben and I have had was this past weekend was Father's Day, and on Saturday we went and celebrated Father's Day with his parents, and then on Sunday we decided that we would invite my parents over for steaks on the grill, and so we're getting the house ready because it's kind of messy with construction going on, as well as me trying to finish up school, so not having a whole lot of time to clean it. So it was pretty messy. So we were cleaning it up, and I was trying to hustle before my parents got there, and so then we didn't have to hustle like while they were there or while we were cooking dinner. And I accidentally hit the plug on our pellet stove, and it turned on, but not really. The lights came on, but it didn't actually turn on. So I called for Ben and I said, if the lights turn on, I don't want it to turn on. It's 90 degrees in the middle of June, so it's pretty hot. So what should we do? He goes, oh, you probably just bumped it. So he hit the off switch. Well, it didn't turn off. So he hit the off switch again, still didn't turn off. Then he hit the on switch. So it flipped on. Well, he immediately hit the off switch, so then it started to shut down rather than turn on. But then he got curious about he wanted to make sure that it was going to turn on. And I said, Ben, there's no reason to check it. It's the middle of June. We don't have to use it for a couple of months. It's not cold at all. So, that's what I said, and I said my piece, and he continued to turn it on. Okay. Well, when he turns the pellet stove on, he doesn't just turn it on and let it be, because it takes a good half an hour to turn on. No, he sits in front of it and stares at it until it turns on. So he sat there in the middle of our cleaning for my parents coming over. Now, my parents don't come over often, so I was trying to really make a good impression. And he sat down and he watched the pellet stove turn on in the middle of June with a full hopper, so it was going to light, so it was going to emit heat. So I was pretty annoyed. Fairly annoyed. I'd say I was peeved. And although I voiced my feelings about it with him, he kind of just ignored them and thought that he was just being efficient and making sure that our heat worked for the winter, because I don't like to be cold. And while I respect that and I appreciate that he was thinking of me and I don't like to be cold, there was still a task at hand that we needed to accomplish before he should have done that. And later on we did talk about it, because he did realize that it had upset me. And he acknowledged that it should have waited. It should have been something that he put on the back burner. Now, this is kind of something that, this isn't the first time that something should have been put on the back burner. The other weekend, shortly after our wedding, he had Monday off. Now, I'm unemployed, so I have every day off. But he doesn't usually get to stay home with me. And so he had Monday off. Well, I had to take tuxes back to a neighboring town, 40 minutes away, 40-minute drive, and then the laundry had to get done. Well, we were laying in bed that morning, and I said, well, I have to take the tuxes back. And he goes, okay, well, laundry needs to get done. He goes, do you want me to go with you to get the to take the tuxes back? And I said, yeah, I want you to go with me. I would prefer that. He goes, well, I think I'm just going to stay here because the laundry needs to get done. So this day that he took off so we could spend together as newly husband and wife, we didn't spend any of it together. I didn't get back until probably 3 o'clock because he also asked me to pick up stuff at the store. And so there was only a 2-hour difference from when he would have gotten home from work versus when I got home from taking all this stuff, going over to this other town. And even though, again, I expressed my true feelings, which usually I go with the flow, I'm a pretty, whatever the plan is, that's what I go with, as long as there's a plan. But it just kind of, it bugs me, and I know he was trying to be efficient, but it was just the fact that I wanted to spend time with him. I wanted him to come with me so that we could be together, because we had been so busy that, you know, I was doing school and wedding stuff, and then we would come home, he would come home from work, we'd watch TV while I would be doing stuff on my computer. So there wasn't really actually a whole lot of time that we were actually spending time with each other. Now, we were sitting next to each other, but it's not the same. No matter what you tell yourself, it's not the same. Sitting down next to each other is not spending time together. Spending time together is interacting with each other, is acknowledging that each other is there. Or when, you know, I'm trying to get all these projects pumped out and I'm trying to get homework done, and he's sitting there watching videos on his computer and watching TV, that's not spending time together. That's living separate lives as in one house. So it was really kind of frustrating for me, and I explained that to him. And the great thing about our relationship, and it's just crazy because it's just crazy, is that we have excellent communication. When, even though we don't say it right off the bat, eventually, before we go to bed, because one of the biggest pieces of advice we've gotten is don't go to bed angry. So we've tried really hard not to do that. So before we go to bed, we really spend that time to say, okay, so this bugged you today, what needs to happen to figure it out? And in his video, I'm sure he'll explain the crazy things that I do because I'm a crazy person. And so those were just two of the big things that sometimes, while his brain works efficiently, it's not working effectively. And our relationship, it gets strained because of that. Because I do like spending time with him. He's my husband. I wouldn't have married him if I didn't like spending time with him. And so it bums me out when we don't get to spend a whole lot of time together. So just take note that spending time together is important, and just being in the same room isn't the same. So that's episode 1. Look for more next Wednesday. Or his is on Friday. And our group one, together one, is on Monday. Thanks for watching Newly Dreads!